Trap 11 came to me from north of Richmond, near Randolph, Indiana. And the person who had it, the trap on their property, I had already gotten one swarm from them, and when I went there, when I went to their house to get the swarm, I asked them if I could put a swarm trap on their property. And about a month later, I caught this swarm. Now, one problem that I already am anticipating having in here is that this trap was not hanging perfectly level. I don't know what that's gonna mean yet. So I take all these screws loose before I move the box. Just get them to where they're about out of there. So since this box wasn't perfectly hanging level, or plumb, or however you want to call it, I'm afraid that there's going to be some comb construction in there that's going to be pretty cockeyed. And I hope that's not the case, but that's what bees normally are supposed to do. And when you take these traps open, and you get them where you can get the lid off, you need to always look in there and make sure there's no attachments on the ceiling like there are here. Large attachments. This is a pretty daggone big swarm. And they got a bunch of bees hanging out here on a, so I imagine there's probably some comb right there, which there is. And I gotta be very, very careful with that comb. What I'm gonna do is sever it from the top here. I built a tool to do this with, and I'm gonna pause the tape. Come back. I'm back. I can't find the one that I made up that's got rings on the end. All this here is, you can use framing wire. This happens to be a guitar string. And all you gotta do is use this to slice the comb. And that, and it does suck because it falls in there, but it cuts a lot better. Now that comb's laying in there, and I'm going to work it in like I've done other times this year. This doesn't really make them real happy, but as you can see, it cuts the comb off and I don't kill as many bees, hopefully. I'm going to place this lid over here in front and move the actual hive of bees here. I'll get my bottom board. Place this roughly in the same place. And my hive body, and I have the hole facing forward. One thing I'm going to be doing here that I don't normally like to do is I'm going to be working in front of another hive, which is not it's best to try to move as quickly as possible without endangering your bees. I had been putting 5 frames into these, and I'm having to reevaluate. I think 5 is too few. I'm having a lot of problems with them building off of the frames. They like to normally pick a side, and then they'll just, like this one is an empty frame that they just chose not to build on. They're beginning to build on it because they're festooned in there. But as far as this not being level, they still did a really good job. Currently, this is the second week of August. Everything I've read had stated that really these bees shouldn't have been putting out swarms that are this large. But for whatever reason they did. This is a rather, this is new comb, and actually they did build that kind of at an angle. I'm going to be straightening everything up here. As I stated before, you can hear the wind in the background. It is windier than what I like for it to be, but just due to the size of this swarm and the fact that it was hanging crooked, I wanted to make sure to get things done. I've been gone for about a week. That is just as full as can be comb. This one as well is quite full. I didn't see the queen. I normally don't look for her. I especially don't want to look for her today in this wind. Now I'm going to take this comb that's in here and lay it on the lid. And try to work it into this frame here that I have ready.